Greetings, fellow Kerbal. It is probably not the best way to start off a Kerbal Space program video by crashing Jeb's capsule into the Duna surface, but Jeb was not on that capsule. Yes, while I was trying to take off, for number one, the camera failed, and number two, I got halfway up and ran out of fuel. So, I had Jeb jump off and turn on his RCS thrusters, and I got him into orbit using his RCS thrusters, and he has about 80% fuel left. So, plans need to be started into motion to go send another ship out to Duna and rescue Jeb from orbit. It's possible. Probably not for me, but it's possible. So, let's go back to the Space Center and get to work launching a three-man capsule, but we'll only have one Kerbal in it. And we'll see how that goes. Right, this is the new interplanetary vehicle of mine, the Interderp. Right now, we need to get these Kerbals off of it, because we only want one. Just one brave pilot to be able to get to Duna and rescue Jeb from orbit. This is probably an unorthodox method of getting Kerbals off a spaceship, but I tried to save him. It doesn't really go all that well. Alright, let's get the launching. Little bit of a close call here while trying to launch. I fired them a little bit early and they flew ahead of me. Surprisingly though, we didn't have any damage to the rocket. I narrowly avoided them. And we continue on our way. Now, in reality, this is probably my 5th attempt to actually get to Duna, because I kept getting into interplanetary space and utterly failing over and over and over. But I finally did manage to get a proper orbital alignment, which we will see in a moment. It's probably the smoothest it's ever gone trying to get one of these things in orbit. I'm surprised it's actually capable. I know these spacecraft are capable. I've got one into Joule orbit before. But right now, we only need to get to Duna, which is much closer. And it's probably not going to go all that great. Alright, right here's the really interesting part, because I figure, hey, I'll slow down time and quick save before trying. Yeah. The Kraken decides otherwise and breaks off my nuclear engine. So I am left with about 3/4 of a tank full of fuel that is completely useless, and low fuel on the outer tanks. Outer engines and such. So you can tell it's obviously starting to go south. And it only gets worse from here. At this point, I only have two options. I could either use what very little fuel I have left to try and get into Jeb's orbit to rescue him, or I could try to land on the planet and not have two capsules left out in orbit. And I decide the latter option because obviously there's not enough fuel to do any orbital maneuvers or any such like that. So I attempt to land it on the surface of Duna. And poor Jeb is just orbiting there, watching the ship as it's flying. And he's just saying, "No, no, you fools, don't try it." But the fools do not listen, and they go for it anyway. Because they are fools. And it's not they, it's just he. Billy Kerman, whatever his name was. And Jeb has to sit there on the horizon and watch as they fall to their most certain death on the planet of Duna. Because there's nowhere near enough fuel to actually catch it from there. At this point I am regretting my decision, because this is just suddenly dawning on me that it's not going to work. And Billy knows. He already knows from the beginning. So we have to watch the slow, agonizing death of a friendly Kerbal as he crashes into the planet. So sad. Stupidity is the problem here. But now we have the other problems, given the fact that poor little Jeb is still stuck in Duna orbit. So what are we going to do about this? I don't know. I'm probably going to have to send another ship over there to try and help him. At this point, the mission is looking a bit troublesome, at the most. But I still think it's probably possible. Jeb's probably not happy, though. He's been in orbit now for about, half a year. It's not exactly the most efficient time. But I have an idea, though. I have a plan. This mission is far from over yet.